Shabbat shalom, everyone. Wonderful to see all of you on this Shabbat and Hanukkah evening. As we were unpacking our Hanukkah decorations the other day, we began pulling out a variety of Hanukkahs. My youngest son, he's 4, he has a dinosaur T-Rex menorah. We have another Hanukkah decorated entirely with kittens. I call them Hanukkats. We have the one that my wife gave me on our first Hanukkah together 15 years ago. Aww. And then we have what used to be my wife's menorah that used to be in the shape of a llama, but whoever manufactured this llama-shaped Hanukkah made it out of wood, which is flammable. So last year, this lamaka caught on fire. And needless to say, this flame did not last for all 8 nights. In fact, it almost burned down our living room. And so now it just looks like a weird piece of llama-shaped firewood, I guess. Now, my wife was really sad when her lamaka burned to a crisp. And I've been trying to no avail to replace it, but I can't find one, which might actually be a good thing because maybe they shouldn't make wooden Hanukkahs, no matter what shape they are in. Well, the day after we took out our menorahs, I went to the dentist. I had to get 3 cavities filled. I do not want a lecture after services about brushing or flossing. So I'm laying in the dental chair, and this very lovely dental hygienist comes in, and she looks at my chart, and she had a very twangy accent. She said, "Well, it looks like we've got our work cut out for today. You're getting 3 fillings, which means you need to say hello to our friend Laughing Gas." And before I could really respond to this, she had started putting this mask thing on my face with tubes that went up my nose, which was kind of surprising. But I didn't have enough time to react to that because before I knew it, she was putting this giant plastic expander thing in my mouth that made me look like this. And then she turned a nozzle, and boy, howdy, I felt that gas. Have you had that gas? Now, while I was lying on my back, I noticed that directly above me, there was a television screen, and she said, "Do you want to watch some TV while we work on those teeth?" And I said, "Sure." And she put on a nature show narrated by David Attenborough. You know who that guy is. The cheetah is the foremost predator, the African landscape. So I am breathing lots of laughing gas and watching the nature show while the thing in my mouth, and I've got to say, dentists are wonderful people. They put a bunch of stuff in your mouth, just pack it with gauze and stuff, and then they ask you a bunch of questions, and they want you to tell them your life story. So she's literally holding this drill, and she says, "Are you so excited about Christmas coming up?" And I said, "I don't celebrate Christmas." But I don't think she heard me, because she just started to drill the ever-loving heck out of my teeth. And while she was doing this, she just continued her speech about Christmas and why it is so great. She said, "You know, I just love it because it's so simple and it brings out the best in everyone." And keep in mind, she's digging a crater in this back tooth. And it's like hitting a deep nerve, and my leg is shaking. The drill is still buzzing. And she just kept going. "It's all about spreading peace." and spreading love throughout the whole world. And meanwhile, David Attenborough is still going, giraffes are herbivores. Their height makes them applicable. And this went on for a long time. It was at least an hour. It felt like 46 years. And when she was done, she put some bubblegum flavored goo on my teeth, and she told me to wait there. Like, where was I going to go? She said, wait here. I'm going to go get another dentist to approve my work. Okay. So I just laid there. She didn't turn off the gas. Still going. I'm still watching David Attenborough's nature show. And that's when I saw it. Guys, guess which animal showed up on the TV? That's right, a llama! And let me tell you, Laughing Gas Jonathan thought this was really funny. It might have been the best thing I had ever seen. This was high comedy. In that moment, Laughing Gas Jonathan thought to myself, I really need to buy another llama. So I pulled out my phone and I tried to find another llama menorah on the internet. But I couldn't find one. But I found something better. I did see that you could order, because why not, a 7-foot-tall inflatable yard decoration in the shape of a llama with a menorah on his back wearing a blue scarf. And friends, I've got to tell you, at that time, this seemed like a really great purchase idea. So Laughing Gas Jonathan clicked, buy now. This is all true, by the way. A couple days later, my wife was collecting packages from the front porch and said, what is this? Did you order an inflatable something? And I said, no. Oh. And in that moment, it was not a great purchase idea. Now, whatever your feelings are toward my llama, I've got to say, we set him up in our front yard, and he is pretty cute. Just looking at him makes me smile. I love the way he stares back at me with that dumb llama expression. But every time I look at him, I have to wonder, what does this have to do with anything? Now, I have read the Hanukkah story many times. I don't know what a llama has to do with the Maccabean revolt against the Seleucids in ancient Israel. I don't think a llama has anything to do with the temple or the menorah or Judah Maccabee. In fact, the more I think about it, what do dreidels have to do with the temple? Or jelly donuts? Or deep fried potato starches with applesauce? If I think about it for too long, it starts to get overwhelming. What exactly is Hanukkah? What is with all this lighting of lights? I juxtapose these thoughts to what my dentist was saying the other day as she drilled for oil in my back molar. I've thought about it all week. She said, Christmas is simple. It brings out the best in everyone. Hanukkah is not simple. Rabbi Kaplinsky and I have been discussing this machloket, this argument that the sages had hundreds of years ago that debates which direction to light Hanukkah candles in. I'm not making this up. The rabbis write pages and pages, and they argue literally for centuries about the nuances and the minutia of laws regarding the menorah. Where to place it, how to light it, when to light it. In fact, the sages famously ask my Hanukkah, which translates to what is Hanukkah in the Talmud, at the beginning of Tractate Shabbat 21b. They asked this seemingly out of confusion themselves. And besides the law aspect, I would argue that Hanukkah does not always bring out the best in people. Just earlier this week, at a Hanukkah celebration in Bondi Beach in Australia, two evil men committed unspeakable atrocities toward our people, inspired by hate and fueled by radical anti-Semitic ideologies. So Hanukkah is not simple. It never has been. It is a holiday born out of conflict, political conflict, religious conflict, even internal Jewish conflict. Jews fighting empires, Jews fighting other Jews, arguments about power and purity, identity, and yes, compromise. Hanukkah is messy, it is complicated, and it is oftentimes unresolved. And maybe that's the point. Because the miracle of Hanukkah is not that everything suddenly became peaceful or easy or clear. The miracle is in the middle of all that complexity. Someone chose to light a small flame anyway. No, the oil didn't fix everything. The menorah didn't end Jewish oppression forever, and the Maccabees didn't usher in a perfect world. They just lit the small light that they had. And perhaps that's why Hanukkah ends up now in 2025 with llamas and cats and dinosaurs and jelly donuts and inflatable yard decorations, not because they're historically accurate, but because Judaism insists that we keep on living. That llama in my front yard doesn't explain the history or theology behind Hanukkah, but it does tell my neighbors the Jewish people are still here. We are still lighting. We're still laughing, especially at the dentist office. And even in all of this uncertainty, my friends, we are still surviving. Hanukkah doesn't ask us to pretend that everything is okay. It just asks us to be faithful, to light one candle on the first night, even if we don't know if we'll have the strength to get to the eighth. To believe that small acts matter, to trust that holiness can live inside our imperfections. So this year, my dear congregation, light your menorah, whether they're silver or dinosaur-shaped or even questionably flammable llama-based. Place your Hanukkah in the window. Let them be seen. Let them be messy and real and Jewish. And if you still don't like my choice of yard display, I'll give you the Hebrew translation of why not. Lama lo. Shabbat shalom and Hanukkah sameach.